Hey, it's Tom, and today we're going to talk about how to get your first job as a junior software developer. So, in this video, we'll skip the whole part of looking for open job positions because that's a lot of things to talk about and it's definitely material for a whole separated video. Today, we'll just focus on the process, which starts when you already found open job positions and you would like to get this job. So, let's start. In the beginning, it's important to think about your application as some kind of advertisement. So just like in a shop, your resume has to stand out from the crowd. Recruiters, tech recruiters, they see tens of resumes every day. And usually it looks like, okay, bad, might be, oh wow, yeah, that's good. So you have to think about how to make your resume stand out from the crowd. And let's start with the tips I can give you after a couple years of experience and couple years of seeing different resumes to make your resume better and to make you looking much better in the eye of recruiter. So if you are applying for a position of junior software developer, usually you don't have any prior work experience. That makes it hard to make your resume stand out from the crowd. But the first and the most important thing, in my opinion, that you can do is to create your own open source project, put it on GitHub, and then just link it in your resume. Link for a GitHub is not very common in the resume. That's very strange as for me, because there's no better way to show that you're writing a clean code, you understand the architecture, and so on. So there are a couple things that are important while creating your open source project. You are a junior developer. You're just learning. You don't have a lot of experience, and that's okay if you will use some kind of ready to use examples from internet, or you will just use as a base some kind of tutorial. You can walk through tutorial, learn some new things, create your own project. But at this point, start modifying that. Because if you are a recruiter or you are a person who sees a lot of resumes and has to check a lot of GitHub accounts for different positions, even mid or even senior, and you have seen a lot of open source projects on a GitHub, it's very easy to find out that you just copied some tutorial or example available in the internet. If you have seen like 100 of GitHub accounts and you see that 10 people created a project in JavaScript, in React exactly, to create a collection of Pokemons, really? 10 people thought about the same idea? It doesn't look good. It makes from my perspective, a recruiter or tech recruiter thinking about this person as a liar. If you used a tutorial or some example as a base of your project and you modified that, it's okay. Put in README info that I took an example, or this project is based on tutorial taken from xxx.com. And I modified this. I added this. That makes you look honest and transparent. And it's a great sign because you're not trying to fool anyone. You're honest. You have no experience, so you took just some other code as a base. You learned something from this code or from tutorial, and you changed something using your knowledge and experience. And that's okay. That's a great idea. Not many people, even applying for a position of mid or senior developer, have some open source projects or rich GitHub accounts. And if you are a junior developer just applying for a first job and you have some open source project on your GitHub, that's great. Your resume will go on a stack called Good People. We can start with them. That's my first tip. Second tip I can give you is to take part in some online competition. There are many online competitions to create some simple apps or to create some plugins. If you're a JavaScript developer, you can even try to write some easy Chrome extension, maybe Slack bot. There are many tutorials on how to do this, and you can use them as a base and take part in some competition. And this is important that don't take competition. For example, if you are a Python developer, don't take competition in Kaggle, because that doesn't show your skills as a developer of Python. It most likely show your skills as a human being who is able to think about data, big data, who is able to analyze data. It's not very useful if you are applying for a junior software developer position. The same with LeetCode. If you are trying to solve problems on LeetCode, you're just showing your ability to solve algorithmic problems, to think in a good way, but it doesn't show your skills as a good software developer. You're thinking in a correct way, you're smart, but it doesn't show your skills in particular language. Tip number 3 is to start your own blog. I know that it may sound ridiculous if you're just applying for a position of junior software developer, but even a simple blog, you can use WordPress. You can create this blog for free with free template, using WordPress, even some free hosting. Even sharing the basic knowledge that you learned while bootcamp, reading a book, or getting a course is a good sign, because while trying to write a post, you have to read a lot about some specific part of the language or framework to understand it, to be able to explain it to others. So even if you are writing a simple blog post about very simple things, it shows that you put your effort to create something and to share your knowledge. You're junior, you don't have big experience, but even though you're trying to share your knowledge with others, and that's a great sign. And not many people are creating their own blogs, even though they have a lot of knowledge to share. So that's a very, very important thing to do. And if only you want to do something like that, that's great. Another good idea might be to get some certificate. So if you already finished your bootcamp or your online course, you maybe got some certificate. Be sure to put it in your resume. I know that most software developers say that certificates don't matter, they don't have any value, and at some point that's true, but it's not a rule for all certificates. But if you're a junior software developer, it's still better to have something than nothing. If you have some certificate, be sure to put it in your resume. If you're just before taking a bootcamp or an online course, maybe think about checking if this course or bootcamp provides you some certificate. I know that it's the most important thing is to get a good course or good bootcamp, but if there are two comparable and one of them gives you a certificate, that might be worth considering as a little bit better, because that gives you some additional point and in your resume and additional point while checking your resume. If you're a web developer, your own blog doesn't have to be based on WordPress. You can create your own blog on your own, and that will be a good point in your portfolio. You will create both your blog website and you will have some additional open source project, of course, if you will open source that. And that will be great project to learn and to put on your GitHub. And if you're not good at design, don't care about that. You can use some free template or buy one for $5. It doesn't matter. Okay, to sum up, trust me that doing at least one thing from those I have mentioned before will make your resume looking much better than 90% of all applications for a position of junior developer, even applications for mid or senior developers are usually so boring and don't have mentioned any GitHub account, any open source projects. So if you are applying for a junior position and you have some open source project, or you have your own blog, or you contribute to some open source project, however, that might be hard if you're a junior, or you have some certificate, it makes your resume look much better, and you have much higher chance to be at least invited for on-site interview. Okay, now your resume is looking much better. You just send it, but you got no answer for example, 2 weeks. So in this case, I would suggest maybe calling the company and asking for a status of your application. You can also just write some kind email asking about the status of your application. And if you got the answer that your application was rejected, then just continue the call, or write a reply for this email and kindly ask for a feedback. Ask why your application was rejected. Explain that you're a junior software developer, you're trying to find your first job, and you would like to know what was wrong with your application. And trust me, not so many people do that. Actually, 90%, 95% of people don't do that. And the problem is that also some companies don't give any answer to the developers, which is pretty bad, to be honest. And also no feedback. So if you will write kindly and ask for feedback, I believe that they will write some valuable information, what was wrong with your application, maybe why someone else was chosen. And that should give you some info about what to change, maybe what to learn additionally. And that can also give you some info what to look at trying to apply to this company in future, maybe in half a year or in a year or even later. So if you got also no answer or your applications were rejected, when you find a next group of companies you would like to apply, you can just print your resume and go and visit them. And that's a good opportunity for you, because you can ask to talk with maybe the project manager of the project they are looking developers for, or you can even talk with some tech guys. You can ask them about the stack, about the details of what technology they are working in, what frameworks they are using. Parts of this information can be shared, and I'm sure that if you will kindly ask, they will share this info with you, and that can give you some tips on what to additionally learn, and what might be also important in your resume. Of course, my tips are very generic. So if you are living in a big city or in a place in which there are meetups, IT meetups, then it's worth going there and talking with people about what they expect from a junior developer in their company. So if you're living in some big city and you're applying for a position of front-end developer, go for a JavaScript meetup, for React meetup, Vue meetup, Angular meetup. I believe there are many of them in your neighborhood. Just go them, and after a couple presentations, there's always a time when people drink beer and talk. Try to ask a couple people you meet there about what they expect when they are looking for a junior developer position, what they are looking for, what's important for them, and that will give you a lot of information. Definitely much more than I can give you right now, because it's very specific for each technology. And the last way to get a job as a junior software developer, let's assume that you don't get any answer for a month or two, you are not accepted anywhere. You can just write to those companies and ask for free internship. Of course, if you can afford that, because free internship means that they won't pay you at all for the month or two, but it's a great chance for you. At first, it will give you a real work experience in your resume. That's very important. Even if it's an internship, it's great. The second thing is that it will give you a lot of experience. The first month of working in any kind of job, especially as a software developer, gives you a great opportunity to learn how to solve real world problems, how others solve their problems, what they talk about, how looks the process of project development, and so on and so on. You will get a chance to talk with mid developers, senior developers, architects, project managers, many people. And there's also the one very important thing that you can do. You can show the company that you are learning fast, you're devoted to what you're doing, and that you're smart, that you are able to learn something, to help others, and that you can be a valuable worker in future. So after this kind of internship, they may just ask you to stay. You won't have to ask them to get a job. They may just come to you and tell you that, okay, you are working very fine, we like your work, so you can stay here as a junior software developer. That's the salary we can offer to you, accept it or not. And that's the best way to get a job. However, you lose a month or two of getting salary. But if you are sitting at home and doing nothing, I honestly believe that it's still much better and gives you much more. So, okay, that's the end of this video. I think that it hopefully helped someone to get his first job as a junior software developer. If so, please let me know in the comments. I will be more than happy to like it. If you have any additional questions, also put them in the comments section. I will be very happy to help you, or if I will be able to answer you, then I will definitely do that. Thank you for your time, thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye!